Have you ever walked into a room and felt completely invisible? You speak, but it's like your words float past people. You move, but no one really notices you. It's almost like you're just another shadow in the background, easily forgotten the moment you leave. If you've ever felt that way, you're not alone. Most people live their whole lives blending into the noise without even realizing it. But then, there are those rare few who step into a room and the entire energy shifts. Eyes turn, conversations pause, and people you've never even met instinctively feel drawn to them. It's like they carry some invisible force, something you can't quite explain, but you definitely feel. And here's the kicker. It's not about being loud, flashy, or aggressive. It's not about being the funniest, the richest, or the best looking. It's about presence. Pure, undeniable presence. Today, you're going to learn the one simple move that flips the way people treat you forever. This one change, if you apply it even just once, will change how people look at you, how they listen to you, and how they respect you. Stay with me, because by the end of this, you'll understand how to walk into any room and have the room pay attention to you, without even saying a word. Here's the hard truth most people never hear. Society does not respect weakness. It might sound harsh, but it's reality. Everywhere you go, the office, social gatherings, even personal relationships, there are invisible hierarchies at play, silent rankings, and you're being placed into one of them within seconds of meeting someone. You might think people are judging you based on your words, your resume, or your achievements. They're not. People judge how you carry yourself, how you speak, how you hold your space. They're looking for subtle clues, signs of strength or signs of weakness. And they don't even realize they're doing it. It's hardwired into our instincts. If you speak too fast, if you rush to fill silences, if you fidget, if your voice wavers or rises at the end of your sentences seeking approval, you're sending a loud and clear signal, I'm beneath you. And once someone places you into that category, it's almost impossible to climb out. You've already lost before the real conversation even begins. Think about the last time you watched someone try too hard to impress a group. Maybe they laughed a little too loudly, told one too many stories, tried to dominate the conversation without really adding value. Did you respect them more for it? Probably not. If anything, you probably felt secondhand embarrassment. That's how brutal our subconscious judgments can be. On the other hand, think about someone who barely said a word but had the whole room respecting their presence. Someone who didn't need to fight for attention, because attention naturally flowed to them. That's strength. That's the silent dominance that society bows to. You don't have to be the loudest. You don't have to be the smartest. You don't have to be the most experienced. You simply have to project strength through how you hold yourself. It's about presence, calm, confident, steady presence. And it's in this space, this unspoken battlefield, that respect is won or lost, without even saying a word. The good news? You don't have to be born with this. You don't have to be some natural alpha to command that kind of attention. Presence is something you can learn. Strength is something you can practice. And it all starts with mastering one simple move that flips the power dynamic in your favor. Get ready, because once you understand this move, the way people treat you will change forever. So what's the move? What's the one thing you can do that will instantly shift how people perceive you? It's the pause. Simple, right? But don't let the simplicity fool you. The pause is a weapon. When used correctly, it forces people to see you differently, to respect you without even knowing why. Here's how it works. Most people, especially when they're nervous, rush to speak. They fill every gap with words, afraid that silence means they're losing the conversation, losing attention, or appearing weak. They talk too fast, their words stumble over each other, and their energy screams desperation for approval. But powerful people? They don't do that. Powerful people own silence. They are in no rush. They're comfortable letting the silence stretch, letting others sit in the discomfort, letting tension build. They control the pace of the interaction. Think about some of the most influential leaders, CEOs, and even characters in movies who just command attention. What do they all have in common? They move slowly, they speak deliberately, they hold silence without flinching, they let others come to them. When you pause, really pause, before speaking, you send a very different signal. You signal, I'm not desperate for your approval. You signal, I control this conversation. You project confidence, dominance, and presence, all without saying a single word. Imagine someone asks you a question. Instead of blurting out an immediate answer like most people would, you pause. You hold eye contact. You let the silence linger. In those few seconds, the energy shifts. Suddenly, they're leaning in, waiting for your answer. They feel the weight of your presence. And when you do finally speak, your words carry more impact because they had to wait for them. You become the center of gravity in that interaction. The best part? This isn't some cheap trick. It taps directly into human psychology. Our brains are uncomfortable with uncertainty. We are wired to crave closure and resolution. A well-timed pause creates uncertainty, and that makes people instinctively focus more on you. The pause makes your words seem more valuable because you're not tossing them away. You're not rushing to spill your thoughts. You're making them rare. And in human nature, rare equals valuable. Mastering the pause changes everything. In business meetings, people will take your opinions more seriously. In social settings, people will pay closer attention to what you say. In relationships, you'll be seen as more confident, more stable, more powerful. The beauty of this move is that it's accessible to anyone. It doesn't matter what you look like, how much money you have, or where you're starting from. The pause is free. It's universal. It's a mindset shift that shows up in your body language, your voice, your energy. It's the simplest move you can make, and it delivers the most dramatic results. Now that you know the move, let's break down why it's so insanely effective. You're about to see why this one technique has worked for the most powerful people throughout history. The power of the pause isn't just a social trick. It's rooted deep in human psychology and our evolutionary wiring. To really master it, you have to understand why it works so well. In nature, the most dominant creatures aren't the ones making the most noise. They're the ones moving in silence, calm and calculated. The lion doesn't roar before the hunt. It stalks its prey silently, conserving energy, picking the perfect moment to strike. True dominance doesn't announce itself. It's simply understood. Humans are no different. Subconsciously, we are constantly reading signals from others, looking for clues about who's in control. Fast, nervous talking, fidgeting, and rushing signal weakness. Calm, slow, deliberate movements, and speech signal strength. Without even realizing it, people assign value and status based on these subtle signals. When you pause, you create tension, you create uncertainty, and uncertainty forces people to focus. Our brains hate open loops. When you delay your response, even for just a second or two, you create an open loop in the other person's mind. They lean in, their brain racing to predict what you're about to say. You own their attention without even trying, but it goes even deeper. In human interaction, silence is uncomfortable. Most people rush to fill it because they can't handle the tension. But the person who controls the silence controls the room. The person who's comfortable letting the silence hang is perceived as the one with higher value. They are in control of themselves, and by extension, the situation. There's also something called the scarcity effect at play. People place more value on things that are rare or hard to get. When you don't rush to speak, when you're selective with your words, you create scarcity. Your voice, your opinion, your approval. It all becomes something people subconsciously chase. Fast talkers often come across as insecure, untrustworthy, even desperate. Slow, deliberate speakers come across as intelligent, trustworthy, confident. It's not about what you're saying. It's how you're making people feel when you say it. And the pause triggers feelings of respect and authority deep within their subconscious. This is why mastering the pause changes not just conversations, but the entire dynamic of how you're perceived. It taps into primal instincts that every human being has, whether they realize it or not. It's a silent signal that says, I am in control here, and people respect that on a level that words alone can't reach. You're not just playing with social habits, you're tapping into something ancient, something that's hardwired into human nature. That's the real power of the pause, and why it's one of the most potent tools you can master. Knowing about the power of the pause is one thing. Applying it in your real life, consistently and naturally, is where the real transformation happens. Here's what I want you to do. The next time you're in any conversation, with a friend, a coworker, a stranger, anyone, and they ask you something, don't rush to answer. Hold still for just 2 seconds. That's it. 2 long, deliberate seconds. At first, it will feel awkward. You'll feel an almost physical pull to break the silence, to say something, anything. You'll feel pressure building. That's normal. That's your old habits trying to survive. But if you can push through that initial discomfort, you'll start to see something incredible happen. The person in front of you will lean in. Their body language will shift. Their eyes will lock onto you a little tighter. Without realizing it, they'll hand you their full attention. You haven't said a single word yet, but you're already winning. When you finally do speak, do it slowly. Choose your words with intention. Let your voice carry weight. Let your words breathe. Don't just throw them out like everyone else does in a rush to fill space. And here's the beauty. You can practice this anywhere. Start small. Try it when ordering coffee. When a barista asks for your name, pause a second before answering. Try it in casual conversations with friends. Pause before responding to a joke or a question. Try it in meetings when someone asks for your opinion. Pause, then deliver your thoughts slowly, clearly, and with calm certainty. You'll start noticing the shift almost immediately. People will listen differently. They'll treat you with more seriousness. You'll feel the energy of the conversation tilt in your favor, like a tide pulling toward you. But it's not just about external results. Pausing changes you internally. It makes you more comfortable with yourself. It trains you to stop needing to perform in conversations. You stop seeking approval. You start becoming someone who speaks because they have something valuable to say, not because they're desperate to fill silence. The more you practice the pause, the more natural it will feel. Over time, you'll realize that silence isn't your enemy. It's your greatest ally. Instead of chasing attention, you will command it. Instead of rushing to be heard, you will become someone people wait to hear from. The world is noisy. Everyone's shouting to be noticed. But you will move differently. You will slow down. You will speak with purpose. You will create space around you that demands respect. And that's when you'll know you're not just having conversations anymore. You're controlling them. You're shaping how people see you. All it takes is 2 seconds of courage. 2 seconds to break free from being just another voice in the crowd. 2 seconds to start becoming unforgettable. Most people will hear this advice and ignore it. They'll keep talking fast, chasing approval, oversharing, trying to force people to respect them, and they'll keep blending into the background, just another face in the crowd. But you know better now. You know that respect isn't begged for, it's commanded. And the way you command it isn't through louder words or bigger gestures. It's through calm control. It's through the quiet confidence of the pause. When you master the pause, you master yourself. And when you master yourself, you master every room you walk into. You shape the energy around you. You draw people in without even trying. You become unforgettable without ever raising your voice. Respect, influence, power. They're not given freely. They're earned by those who understand how human nature really works, by those who stop chasing approval and start commanding space, by those who are willing to slow down when everyone else is speeding up. So the next time you walk into a room, ask yourself, are you just another person filling the air with noise? Or are you a force, calm, steady, powerful, shifting the energy just by being there? Pause. Own your presence. Speak with weight. Watch how the world adjusts around you. Watch how people begin to treat you differently, with attention, with seriousness, with deep respect. Master the pause, and you'll never have to beg for respect again. You'll become the person others instinctively recognize as a leader, a presence they can't ignore. This is your edge. This is your power. Use it.